Hey, what's going on? It's Charlie here again. Hope you're having a good day. It's been probably about a week and a half or so since I've made a video, and I wanted to let you know of something new that I'm doing. And so you probably heard of it, maybe you haven't, but I went ahead and purchased a Profit Trailer. This is the wiki page, but let me log into my Profit Trailer really quick. So this is the Profit Trailer. This is the screen maybe you're used to seeing. And so I got this earlier today. I configured it. It was a bit of a chore figuring it all out, but maybe in the future I'll make a quick video. But there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube, so I don't know how much good it would do for me to actually show a video of how I purchased this, downloaded it to my computer, ran the program, set up all of my different trading um, settings. And I will show you those here in a second so you can screenshot them and kind of see what I'm doing. But what I wanted to show you really quick is the Profit Trailer has been working for maybe 6 or 7 hours. And as you can see, it's already made 10 successful trades. Um, That's the sales log here. There's been 10 trades that it's got in on and sold at a profit. So that's kind of cool. The best one so far was Populous. One of the cool ones here was Strat. Um, it actually became a DCA. And so what that is I set up a DCA log. I'll show you what that is in a second. But the coin basically dropped to negative 3.5%. So I was in a bad position, but I set up a DCA to where it doubles down when it hits certain markers. In my case, I set up a negative 3.5% loss as a double down position. And then it hung out there. It almost got to the next double down position. And as you can see, I've actually got some coins that are in double down position and heading towards another double down. So here I've got Lisk, Zcash, I think that's, I can't remember what DGD stands for, and Verge. Verge is almost on a triple double down, and I don't have any more double downs after that. But it looks like it's starting to, it's only at negative 1.71, so it's starting to uptrend. It was at like negative 4, so hopefully Verge will be profitable here pretty soon. But again, 10 successful, profitable trades. I've currently got 4 pairs that it has bought recently, and we're just waiting for those to get into the profit. And these are my possible buys. Right now it's trailing 2 particular coins, and it will definitely be buying this coin soon, this AION to BCC. Definitely will be buying that in a second based on my settings. But as you can see, I'm I'm tracking 53 or 54 coins at any given time. All right, so let's jump into my settings really quick. Okay, where did I keep them? They're on one of these pages. No. There we go. All right. So what you have to do is you set up various setting pages. So I'm going to show you my pairs settings. So I've got my market set here as Bitcoin. All trading enabled, yes. All enabled pairs, I have all. So that means that it will trade any and all different types of coins. Now I've limited a couple of coins that I don't necessarily like. This Loon coin and Nano coin, I don't like those. So I've got Loon BTC trading enabled equals false. Nano BTC trading enabled equals false. And then I've got my all max cost. So this is how much it buys whenever it buys a trade. So 0.0099. So that's roughly $100. You can change this setting. Let's say you wanted it to be 0.003. That'd be roughly, 30 or 40 bucks. And depending on how much your starting point is in your exchange would determine how much you want to put in there. So as a frame of reference, I've got about, I think it was showing earlier that I had roughly 3,000 USD worth of Bitcoin. So I'm using my trade at about $100 for every trade that it buys, which is, I think, roughly, I don't know, somewhere around 5%. All right. Some of these things I'm pretty new to, but I can kind of try to figure out. All min buy balance, I can't remember what that one is, but it was a good idea to set it at 0. I can tell you that. All min buy volume, 75. That means that 75 Bitcoin have to be traded in a given 24-hour period for that coin to show up as a valid coin to trade. All min buy price. That means that the coin has to be trading at this amount or above. It will keep you from buying coins that maybe haven't proven themselves yet. So there were certain coins in there that weren't showing up at first. I had originally set this up at like 0.0004 or 0.05, and then I lowered it down to this 0.00032 because I thought coins like Cardano should definitely be in the mix. And then I might single out some coins here in the future. I mean, this is all stuff that you can manipulate as time goes on. So I might single out some other coins that I don't necessarily want to be buying. Max trading pairs, 12. So I can never have more than 12 coins being held at any given time. And then this all max buy spread. This is just a conservative figure. You'd have to go into the wiki to understand what I'm talking about, but 1 is pretty conservative, 2 not as conservative, 3 is really aggressive, so 0.65 is pretty conservative on this. Alright, so I'm using a buy strategy of an EMA gain, that's an exponential moving average gain, and I'll try to show you this here in a second, but my all buy value is negative 0.90. That means that the coin has to go almost 1% below one of the moving averages. I'm using a 13 and a 34, so one of the two, it's got to drop at least that far below, and then the trailing buy. So what that means is that it's got to drop to negative 0.9, and actually it has to drop to at least negative 1.3, and then it will try to buy. And so I've got all buy available volume trigger equals 125. So what that means is if you were trying to buy 5 of a coin, actually this would be a lot easier if I would put 150 in, but I'll do it with 125. So if you were going to try to buy 5 of a coin, you would have to take 5 times 1.25, which is like, gosh, I don't know, 5 point, or it's around 6 coins, I think. So there has to be 6 coins being sold at a given price for it to put in a price for. So on the exchange, somebody's got to be willing to sell 6 of them for me to be able to buy 5. That's the all buy available, and that would basically you could set that at a lower amount or a higher amount. The higher amount would mean that you would probably never buy a partial buy. You'd always buy exactly what you were requesting. So 125 just means that somebody out there is trying to sell more than what I'm trying to buy. All right. And then the all sell strategy is gain. The all sell value is 0.49. That means that it's got to go up 0.49%. And actually, it's got to go up more than that. It's got this trailing profit. So it doesn't sell just because you hit your 0.49. It will wait until you get to whatever 0.177 is above 0.49, so like 0.67, and it doesn't just sell at that point, it will continue trailing up. So what that means is it'll go up to like, let's say it went up to 80, and then if it dropped down 17.7 from there, so now you're at 63, if that's above 49, and it is, then it would sell that. So you can play with those numbers. These are the settings that I'm using here. All stop loss trigger. I'm not using a stop loss. I don't want to sell at a loss. I've got DCAs enabled. They start at -3.5. All sell only mode false. That means you can turn that to true at any time. So if you ever want to just not buy anything else, you just want to be in a sell mode, you can change that to true. I don't have any drop triggers. That would be if like BTC dropped 4% in a given 24-hour period, you would stop buying. It would turn into sell only mode. I don't have any of that set up yet. I don't have a number that I have in mind. So let me show you my DCAs really quick. This is, just so you know, this is my pairs properties. And then these are my DCAs. Enabled is true, max cost 0, max buy time. So I will do 3 double downs. That's what that max buy times is. The buy strategy equals Anderson. It's on the wiki page to understand it. The buy style is double down. So the first buy trigger is at -3.5. And it's got to go a little bit worse than -3.5. It's got to go to like -3.575 at least before it'll even buy a DCA. And then it's got another one at -5.5. It'll double down yet again, and then it's got a third trigger at -7.5. So what you're doing there is you're basically buying a dip. That way you don't have to wait. Because at -7.5 you're probably more like -10 below where you started. And so if you were going to hold that coin until it went up 10%, you could do that, or you could continue to double down on the dip, and then you only have to sell at maybe a 3 or 4% increase from your bottom price. So it's a little bit easier to make a profit if you continue to double down on the dip. The sell strategy is gain, meaning you have to have at least a 0.50 profit from the last time you bought your double down. And again, it's got the trailing profit, so it doesn't just sell right when you hit 0.50. It's got the trailing profit, so you can maximize your profits. All right, so that's my DCAs, and then my indicators here. So I'm using a 5-minute candle. That's what the 300 is. So 300 seconds is a 5-minute candle. And then I'm using a 34 and a 13 moving average, and it shows your SMAs and your EMAs. So I'm using a 300 on both, 34 and 13 on both. All right, so those are my settings. I know that that was a lot of information, but you can kind of just stop the screen if you're wanting to use these settings. They seem to be doing okay for me so far, but I've been messing around with them throughout the day. It's kind of fun to just see how these are playing out. So let's go back and look and see what the bot has been up to since we've been talking. So, all right, so here's what we've got. We've got 4 different pairs going right now. We've got, it did buy that AION to BTC, and actually it's almost in a profitable position to be able to sell, and then it just dipped. So these things fluctuate. And then I've got my DCAs. Zcash is looking like it's going to hit the next double down. See, it says true trailing. It's starting to trail, meaning it's picked up on that it's dropped, and here pretty soon it might double down on that one. So anyway, I hope that this video was enjoyable to you. I'll try to make some more videos to kind of explain what all's going on here, but just as an example, let me turn off the 21 candle. So the white line is a 7 moving average. The other one is the blue line is a 77. So this isn't a 13 and a 34. But what in essence the profit trailer is doing is it's looking for candles to be underneath these moving averages, and when they are by X amount of percent, they will buy, and then they will sell when they go up. So it doesn't matter which of these moving averages, both of them. It will buy when it drops below the moving average by a certain amount, and it will sell when it goes up from the point you bought. So that's what the profit trailer is all about. It's going good so far, and I'll make more updates as it goes, but as it stands right now, it has sold and made 15.96 profit, which is about 0.6% in about 8 hours. Talk to you later.